Hi, this is Dolores, and I'd like to show you a journal that I made for a very dear friend of mine. Um, uh, 50 years ago, I graduated from nursing school, and there were only 25 of us, and we were, lived together all the time, and it was different then than it is now. And so, um, three of my lovely classmates came to see me in November, and I made them each a book, and I'm going to show you this one today. This is for Anne. Anne's husband likes birds, so I put a number of birds in here. There's some Jane Austen images, some lots of lace and shiny stuff, some sewing, and some papers that I have single one-off papers, and I really don't know where they came from. I've had them for a long time. Also, there's some Regency ephemera, that is, ads that go along with Jane Austen era. So it's a single signature, soft cover, an envelope journal. And the cover is just a bird with some baby roses on it. And this. Okay, so here's some lace and some paper. I don't know where this, I had several sheets of it, but I think it's K and Company, but I'm further, more than that, I can't say. Um, Here's a Regency image, a fashion image, and I have a few of these in here. A pocket. This is a Jane Austen moment, and this came from a set. And when people who make these kits print them, when you print them out, most times I find it doesn't come with the name of who made it. So I don't know where this came from. I might say Dreams, etc., or Artie Mays, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. So if you do know, please let me know so I can put it, in the comments. Here's another little bird and little piece of ephemera. Here's a page from Jane Austen digital package, digital collection. This is some parchment paper and for writing. Now I'm so nervous because I haven't done this in a long time. I've had so many camera problems and computer problems. So I'm just hoping that this will be okay. Here's an index card that I painted and put a little butterfly on, right on the inside. Here's a stamp and some ledger paper. Here's a decorated paper clip, and I believe Tanya sent me this from Tanya from Australia. I believe she lives in. Here's some packing with a couple of birds in it, another bird here, and some more Jane Austen paper, Pride and Prejudice. There's a nice bee, queen bee. And then I had gotten this package of playing cards that I put throughout all three of these journals, and they contained scenes and characters from her novels. And this is an ad for Bath, for the Roman baths at Bath, which is where many of her stories took place. This is a die cut that I painted and attached there, and this is a journaling card, and it began as a specimen, and then I got my Sparks paints, and I started painting, and so now this specimen is hidden, but it's, you know, a spark painted journaling card. Here's another bird. Here's some journaling cards as well, and a key. I think maybe I plan to put it there. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. Some more journaling cards. And this is a book page. This is a huge book. In fact, you know, I folded it up this way to make a pocket. It's so wide and so long, and I tore the edges. It's a book that's Italian on one side and English on the other. It's a history book. Very beautiful pages. So I included one of those pages here. Here's a pocket that I made. This is inspired by our friend Patricia Viramontes, who makes all kinds of pockets, and all the page pockets, many of them, most of them I should say, were inspired by her, so thank you, Patricia. This is a little journaling card with little things in it, little things in the pocket. This is glued down, and this is sewn. There's some sewing here. Here's a layered flower and a Jane Austen tag and a chair. Here is a couple of banners and a heart. This is a belly band, and this is an example of the Regency ephemera that I tried to include here. This was a circulating library. If you've read Jane Austen's books, you know that there's a lot of talk about the circulating library and a lot of these other kinds of places. This is a stick pin, and I put a piece of tape over the pin so that Anne doesn't hurt herself. Here's another Regency journal. It's a journaling card. It can also be used for a photo, I should say. And here's a tag that I decorated with my new texture paste, you know, the Finnabar patina set, and I put on it some copper beads and copper mica flakes and so on. And here, this is for writing on underneath here. Oh, and this washi tape, it's Van Gogh inspired, his water hyacinth painting, which I think is so beautiful, and it's very special, I think. Piece of lace. Some lined paper, 2 sheets. I'm stamping. True friendship is seen through the heart, not through the eyes. Here's a lace pocket with a journaling card here, and this is, I believe, a Regency image, and some more Jane Austen things, and a couple of these journaling cards. Here's a fashion image, and I guess it's a riding habit, or you know, the man, a male attire was popular for a few minutes there. It looks like a riding habit. Jane Austen, some journaling cards. Here's a lace, and it serves as a little tuck spot here. And this is part of Love is Chic from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. This is a medieval city. And here's a little tag that says Forevermore. on it, and some ephemera here. This is Tim Holtz, I'm sure. And here's a little booklet that I made from the paper. And bookmark. Here's a Jane Austen tag, one of her stories, based on one of her stories. This is a Regency ad and a little sewing image. It's a pocket, and here's a paper hanging warehouse from the 18th century, early 19th century. Now and Forever. Here's a corner pocket with, this is an envelope that I made from origami paper, and there's a little note for Anne inside, a very brief note, and another bird, and some other ephemera. And here's a little pocket that I made from a journaling card, and a hydrangea. Now, I went wild at one point painting things with gesso, and I'm trying to smooth it out a little bit by painting gel over it. It's still in the process. A fashion, Regency fashion. Here's a little butterfly. That his wing is crooked. An Yvonne type of envelope, and some more Jane Austen playing cards. Some lined paper. And here's a beautiful fish and some kind of a damask print. And this I got from the thrift store, my local thrift store here that I've discovered. And this is part of a baby dress, which I thought looked very nice with the fish. And this is Jane Austen card. Another quote from Sense and Sensibility. That's Mr. Brandon, I guess his name is. And he's one of my favorites. Probably my favorite hero. A stamp. Here's a paper bag that's being like a pocket and tuck spot. The doily. Anything in here? Just a little, little card. And the other images, some of the images I have here are from Feathers and Friends. And I seem to have lost track of Karen. If anybody knows where she is, please let me know. I can't seem to locate her. But this was a beautiful, gorgeous set, and I use it a lot. This is a journaling card. Here's the other side of the Italian book. Here's a little envelope that I glittered. You know I glitter everything, stickle everything. And here's a vintage lady, and her little frame is crushed. Could iron that. And a couple of tags. A Jane Austen quote, and Regency fashion. And here's a lace pocket with some little things in it. Oh, here is a coin envelope that I made as per Patricia's direction. And I put a napkin, I Mod Podged a napkin over it and then put some stickles on top of that. I thought this turned out well. And here is some Regency fashion and some pretty ladies. More Victorian than Regency, I would say, but they feel at home here. So here's a botanical item that I made. This was from my garden, basil, and I dried it and made a little window and used a paper crimper on some, I guess it's brown paper or coffee dyed paper. And then I have here is the hem of something that I cut off. It's hemmed, and I just made it as a frame, and I did some stamping. And this is due to the inspiration of Jibid Neary, and if you don't know her, please check her out, Jibid Neary. She's a wonderful artist, and she's brilliant, I think, and she did a couple of tutorials on how to make these botanicals, and wonderful directions too. So inside here is the magical properties of basil as it relates to garden magic, and I included that. This is like a pocket. No? Oh yes, this is a pocket here. Comes out, and there are some little tags here that I put organza on. And this is a ephemera, Regency ephemera piece with a lace pocket. Jane Austen paper. Here's some packing. I made a little envelope and put this glitter tape on the end. And inside here, this is one of Karen's Feathers and Friends. Beautiful image with a bird. And on this side is another image, a Regency, piece of Regency ephemera, some stamping, and sewing, and Pride and Prejudice. And these are some journaling cards. And then here's, oh, this is a riot. I had to read some of these in grad school. This is a book called The Whole Duty of a Woman, or An Infallible Guide to the Fair Sex, containing rules, directions, and observations for their conduct and behavior through all ages and circumstances of life, as virgins, wives, and widows, or widows. This could raise your blood pressure, and they were really serious. There were this whole genre of books about women's duties, and I'm so glad we don't have to pay any attention to that now, because we can be wild women if we want. And here's a bit of lace, my stamp, and this is a tag that says forevermore, and that's how long I will love Anne, and that's the end. Thank you for watching.